Chapter 589 to 38 stars. A loud crash echoed in the chamber. It turned out that the fireball, now 5 meters across, that the little flame bell had turned into had just slammed into the cloth-wrapped corpse general. The creature had no place to escape to after it was forced into a corner in the chamber. The fireball exploded. It felt like a fire burst, rupture, with its power multiplied by around 10 times. Half of the spacious chamber was devoured by the erupting flames, while the place felt like it was about to collapse. The chamber quaked vigorously. Dust and grit continued to fall from above as cracks began to cross the sturdy walls. Meanwhile, the cloth-wrapped corpse general was entirely engulfed in flames within a pile of burning debris. The cloth-wrapped corpse general was just too unlucky. Normally, with its speed, it was hard to land any destructive spell on it, yet the area of Little Flame Bell's fireball was just too terrifying. With the limited space in the chamber, it was only a matter of time until the fireball struck it. Little Flame Bell was overjoyed. She zipped past the sea of flames she had just created and flew over to where the cloth-wrapped corpse general was laying. The little creature was rather naive. She was simply going to check if her target was dead. If not, she would not mind using a stronger calamity fire to send the creature into the afterlife. To her surprise, the cloth-wrapped corpse general was so cunning that it was actually faking its death. When the little flame bell went up to it, the winding sheets around its arm immediately took the shape of a drill, stabbing at Little Flame Bell viciously. The attack totally caught Little Flame Bell off guard. There was no way she could possibly dodge it, yet the cunning Mo Fan would never allow such a thing to happen. His fist erupted in flames that streaked through the air and flew right at the cloth-wrapped corpse general that had just sprung up from the ground. The cloth-wrapped corpse general was knocked flying while it was still in midair. Its body slammed into the walls of the chamber. The impact ended up producing a deep hole, where the corpse general was quickly burned to ashes under the combination of different flames. The cloth-wrapped corpse general's defense was not as outstanding as other kinds of corpse generals. Mo Fan's punch was strong enough to blast it to death. As Mo Fan took a few steps forward, a wisp of dark green fragmented soul drifted toward the little loach pendant, implying that the cloth-wrapped corpse general was indeed dead. It was a warrior-level soul remnant. As a matter of fact, there were quite a number of warrior-level soul remnants floating on the Nether River in the Little Loach Pendant. When the cloth-wrapped corpse general's soul remnant joined the rest of the soul remnants, they immediately gathered together and combined into a dark blue amber in the shape of a water droplet. Soul Essence. The Little Loach Pendant had refined a soul essence. Most importantly, it was refined with close to 100 warrior-level soul remnants, hence the product was a warrior-level soul essence, bringing Mo Fan great joy. It turned out that not only was the Little Loach able to refine servant-class soul remnants, it could also refine warrior-level soul remnants into soul essences. The average price of a warrior-level soul essence was around 20 million RMB. Mo Fan's savings were almost empty from feeding his little flame bell. Despite that, he was still unwilling to sell the pseudomorphing demon beast seed. He even had to rely on Lu Ru to pay the 20 million to Shorty. Now that he finally had the chance to earn 20 million, how fascinating. Oh, wait a second. Damn it, I almost forgot. I can't take the soul essences that Little Loach has refined out from the pendant. I can only use them to strengthen my stars, he cursed instantly. His joy was all in vain. He could not even trade the soul essences for money. Speaking of which, can I even strengthen the stars with a warrior-level soul essence? The question suddenly crossed Mo Fan's mind. Since he had no way of selling the soul essence, he simply decided to spend it on an experiment. He immediately used the freshly refined soul essence to strengthen the 34th star of his nebula. The naughty star was flying around wildly in the blazing red nebula. Mo Fan's control over the stars was like a fisher handling a tank of fish. He was so experienced that he could instantly grab any fish in the tank that he wished. Come, here's some nutrients for you to grow stronger. Mo Fan fed the warrior-level soul essence to the star he had not yet strengthened. The star rapidly absorbed the energy of the soul essence, becoming incredibly bright, and on top of that, it also had an extra flickering glow around it. Mo Fan initially thought the warrior-level soul essence would be consumed in the process, yet the soul essence was still there after its energy was absorbed by the star. The only difference was its color was slightly dimmer. So Dezu Ne, a warrior-level soul essence contains more energy, which is enough to strengthen more than one star. Mo Fan felt a great surge of joy. There were only 15 stars left to be strengthened. He would be able to strengthen a few more stars with the warrior-level soul essence. Mo Fan immediately proceeded to strengthen the 35th star with the warrior-level soul essence. The process finished rather smoothly. Not long after, the 35th star was shining brightly, like its 34 other siblings. Moving forward, the 36th star was successfully strengthened, too. More onward, the 37th star had no problem leveling up too. The energy that a warrior-level soul essence contained was superb indeed. Here came the 38th star. The soul essence was almost entirely transparent. As Mo Fan finished strengthening the 38th star, the warrior-level soul essence finally dissipated. 5 stars. A warrior-level soul essence was just enough to strengthen 5 stars. However, different warrior-level soul essences had different levels of quality too, leading to each soul essence containing a different amount of energy. Those with a lower quality were only enough to strengthen 4 stars, while those that were superior would be able to strengthen 6 stars. Clearly, the soul essences refined by the little loach were considered average. The count had now reached 38, only 11 more left to strengthening all 49 stars, which would significantly improve Mo Fan's magic. It was extremely important to him. The power of a 4th-tier fiery fist was truly outstanding. Otherwise, Dongfang Lai would not have been able to occupy the first rank for so long. The truth was, Mo Fan's fiery fist was only slightly stronger than a 4th-tier fiery fist when he was possessed by the flame bell. Mo Fan simply took Dongfang Lai by surprise, since Dongfang Lai never thought his spell would be overwhelmed by Mo Fan's. Therefore, if Mo Fan was also able to cast the 4th-tier fiery fist, allowing him to fire 9 fiery dragons from his fist, and together with the extra power from being possessed by the flame bell, his fiery fist's power would be close to an advanced spell. In addition, Mo Fan's fire seed was also able to multiply the strength of his fire spells. Think about that. When his intermediate spell was almost as destructive as an advanced spell, wouldn't most of his enemies be trembling in fear when facing him? He had to strengthen the remaining 11 stars as soon as possible. He was hoping that he would earn more benefits from the war against the undead, allowing him to learn a new formidable spell and dominate the intermediate level. Chapter 590 Fighting a Bloody Way Out. Keep running if you can, your grandpa Shorty doesn't mind playing with you until your death, grumbled Shorty while casting a light protection, Rampart. The light protection, Rampart, was like a cage that the throat-slicing horned demon could not afford to touch. After Shorty trapped the creature with 3 consecutive light protection, Ramparts, it was done for. Yu Qingsu, who was overwhelmed with hatred, immediately threw a lightning strike into the cage, landing it on top of the throat-slicing horned demon. The throat-slicing horned demon's defense was even weaker than the cloth-wrapped corpse general. Its body was severely injured after a mere lightning strike. It was pretty much half dead lying there in the cage, losing all hope of fleeing for its life. Allow me to help the creature find its peace. Shorty followed up by throwing a brilliant light into the cage. A magician should always conserve their energy, especially when a basic light spell was more than enough to finish the creature. The rays of light emitted by the glowing ball were like incredibly sharp swords to the throat-slicing horned demon. The rays instantly punctured the creature's shadowy figure, leaving countless holes in it. The throat-slicing horned demon did not last for more than a few minutes. Its body soon shattered into smaller black pieces. In the end, all that remained was a black piece of canvas falling to the ground. It turned out that the phantom was actually possessing the canvas. Shorty's eyes glittered when he saw the ghost canvas. However, the cunning man did not express his excitement in his expression. He simply picked up the canvas with an indifferent look and grumbled, All it dropped is this thing that looks like a piece of loincloth. What the hell can we even use it for? Perhaps someone will actually buy it from me." Shorty had already snuck the ghost canvas into his pocket in the middle of his speech. Unfortunately, a huge hand immediately grabbed his wrist. He looked up and saw Scarface looking at him with a smile that revealed his tobacco-stained yellow teeth. "Bro, that thing is actually quite valuable. Since you already knew what the throat-slicing horned demon is, you would know how valuable its ghost canvas is, too," said Scarface. Shorty immediately pulled a long face. This man, who looked like a hefty version of Rurouni Kenshin, almost lost his life a few moments ago, yet he was still thinking about the ghost canvas. If Shorty managed to keep the ghost canvas to himself, he would earn a great profit even without considering the other loot he would get for the rest of the night. It's not like that. I'm not too sure about its value. How about this? I can sell this thing at a good price. I'll take it, and compensate you all with other things. How does that sound? Said Shorty with a feigned honesty. It depends on what you're planning to give us. All three of us are included. Yu Qingsu was not someone that could be fooled easily either. One soul seed piece? Are you treating me like an idiot? Give me the thing, now, said Scarface furiously. All right. 5 million. I'll give everyone 5 million. You can only sell it for 20 million at most. I'll give each of you 5 million. It's a fair deal, said Shorty. That sounds more like it. Shorty felt his balls hurting. He should not have saved the guy. The profit was not as impressive after it was split among 4 people. Shorty was a man of his words, too. He immediately gave everyone soul seed pieces and magic ores that would sum up to a value of 5 million according to the market price. This servant class soul essence is for you. It's worth more or less 5 million. Shorty handed a soul essence to Mo Fan. Mo Fan was stunned for a moment. How did the guy know he was in need of soul essences? Normally, Mo Fan would never spend the soul essences that he could trade for money on strengthening his stars. However, since he was so close to strengthening all 49 stars, he decisively used the soul essence to strengthen his next star instead. Only 10 stars remained until he could cast the 4th tier Fiery Fist. After leaving the chamber, he would have to put more effort into collecting the soul remnants of the undead. It was quicker to collect soul remnants when killing the undead, as they would always die in packs. The group made their way out of the sunken tomb after splitting the loot. Everyone was given a great scare as soon as they came out of the cave. The whole area was surrounded by pitch-black figures. Zombies had filled the place when they were busy dealing with the cunning Corpse General and Phantom General. They subconsciously took a deep breath when their entire field of view was filled with the faces, bodies, and limbs of the undead. Quick! Let's leave this place. Shorty no longer thought about the ghost canvas when he realized the situation they were in. Little Flame Bell, clear the path. Mo Fan immediately ordered. Little Flame Bell was flying around 3 to 4 meters above the ground. She puffed out her cheeks and spat out blazing flames ahead of them quickly. The flames poured down from the sky like a river. The rolling tide swept forward and laid a blazing red carpet on the surface. The servant class undead within the area of the flames were either burned beyond recognition, or fled for their lives in all directions. The calamity fire was much more imperious than the rose flame. Besides, Little Flame Bell was still in her youth phase, and was still unable to fully exploit the power of the calamity fire. Awesome, your contracted beast is comparable to 4 or 5 intermediate fire magicians. Shorty raised his thumb to Mo Fan. Enough flattering, hurry up and use your brilliant light to blind the zombies behind us. They are fucking fast runners, cursed Mo Fan. In addition to the flames clearing the path, Mo Fan and Yu Qingsu, who were both lightning magicians, were also able to paralyze a huge number of zombies with their lightning strikes. That being said, only Mo Fan's lightning strike was able to paralyze a crowd of zombies. The 4th tier lightning strike was much stronger than Yu Qingsu's lightning strike. The zombies that enjoyed stacking up into human pyramids had no chance of getting close to the group. I see it, the army is just ahead, yelled Scarface. Holding an ice chain in each of his hands, Scarface flung the ice chains sideways with great might, knocking the zombies on both sides to the ground. They were more than a kilometer away from the army. The four magicians did not hesitate to use their boots equipment as they sprinted toward the army across the land of black sand while drawing star patterns continuously. A magic vine burst out from the ground and entangled the legs of two zombies. The four had no time to waste on the two zombies who were trying to crawl forward with their hands. They simply ran past them quickly. Shorty's brilliant light exploded on the other side. The light was so strong that it stopped another 4 to 5 zombies from moving any closer, as they tried to shield their eyes. When the zombies finally regained their vision after the light dimmed gradually, the four magicians were already 100 meters away from them, surrounded by another pack of undead. "My turn. Wind disc. Sky snare," uttered Scarface imperiously, controlling the airflow nearby with his hands. The wind spun rapidly with the group in the center. It grew from a slight breeze at the start into sky snare wind walls that were strong enough to crush anything into pieces. Chapter 591 Undead. Endless of them. Not only did the wind wall protect them, it also swept the packs of zombies lunging at them into the air. The faster the wind was spinning, the greater the tearing force it produced. With so many servant-class zombies jumping at the wind wall, it simply crushed the undead into paste like a giant meat mincer. Soon, pieces of flesh and bodies were scattered on the outside of the wall. "Let's go, we can't stay any longer." Mofan quickly retrieved the sole remnants of the zombies and urged his team along. The wind disk gradually dispersed, leaving fresh blood and pulped flesh scattered across the land. It had cleared a spacious path ahead, yet when the team had run less than 50 meters, they quickly found themselves surrounded by new packs of zombies. Each of the packs consisted of more than 20 zombies. Their speed was 2 to 3 times that of an ordinary human. Some of their kinds with different traits could run even faster, flickering like black shadows. "Damn it! There are too many of them," cursed Shorty. "We can't stop. The zombies are rolling toward us like a surging tide. Once they roll over the path between us and the army, there's no way we can regroup with them anymore. After all, the army is clearing the zombies faster than us four," Mofan said urgently. Because of how grave the situation was, Mofan did not dare to preserve his strength further. He glanced in the 3 different directions the zombies were charging at them from and roughly estimated there to be 60 to 70 zombies attacking them simultaneously. Within a few more seconds, more than 100 other zombies would arrive too. "Stand closer to me. I'll destroy them all in one go," said Mofan furiously. "I'll cover you," said Shorty immediately. The star pattern appeared under Mofan's feet. Its blazing red color easily captured everyone's attention as usual, as if he were standing on a fiery ring that was burning fiercely. Fiery fist. 9 halls. Mofan slammed his fist into the ground, inserting the rolling heat into the black soil. The team was surrounded by pitch-black darkness, yet at this very moment, 9 fiery pillars burst out from the land covered by zombies and darkness in the shape of the 9 halls. Raging flames danced between the pillars, as explosions, heat waves, and tongues of fire covered everything within 100 meters. Basically, as soon as the packs of zombies stepped into the area of the spell, they were welcomed by blazing fire pillars that instantly evaporated the zombies. Not even their ashes were left behind. The fiery pillars were utterly astonishing. Seeing the whole area covered in violent flames, and Mofan, whose figure had turned bright red after he erupted in flames, Scarface and Yu Qingsu understood the reason why Yao Nan had appointed him as the vice-captain. Violent. Extremely violent. Scarface's sky snare had only killed 20 zombies before, while Mofan's single fiery fist, 9 halls, had killed over 50 zombies in one go. It quickly resolved the difficulty they were at from being surrounded by the zombies. The remaining zombies had only survived because they were moving at a relatively slower pace, and so were not within the coverage of the spell. "Let's go," uttered Mofan, in high spirits as he glanced at the scorched land in his surroundings. The little loach pendant acted fairly quickly too. The zombies that Mo Fan had eliminated had all turned into blue-green light dots floating into its nether river. Around 80 soul remnants of the undead would be enough to refine a soul essence. Basically, the undead that Scarface and Mo Fan had eliminated were enough to refine another soul essence. Collecting soul remnants this way was extremely efficient, yet Mo Fan did not want to be too greedy, as it was only a matter of time until his energy was depleted. Besides, the number of undead were still increasing, thus resulting in denser packs of zombies lunging at them endlessly. If they made a mistake when casting their intermediate spells, it was only a matter of seconds until the zombies brought them to the ground and stacked 10 layers of zombies on top of them. With no time to strengthen the star, Mo Fan led the team and continued sprinting forwards. Little Flame Belle, Spitfire. Little Flame Belle puffed her cheeks again, spitting a bright red burning carpet across the path ahead, more than 100 meters long. The zombies in a straight line ahead of her melted instantly in the flames once again, before turning into blue-green light dots flying toward Mo Fan's little loach pendant. Thunderbolt. Wild strikes. Yu Qingsu's eyes emitted a purple glint of light. She pointed her finger at the path behind them, producing a huge stormy cloud up high from which thick lightning strikes descended. The zombies chasing after them had no choice but to cross the lightning zone. Fortunately, the zombies had little to no intelligence. They were completely clueless about dodging or avoiding the dangerous zone. As they stepped into the area, the lightning strikes striking them immediately blew them into a bloody mist in the air. "I can see them. I can see them. Hurry up," blurted out Shorty. He finally saw the army around 300 meters away. It looked like Zhou Ming and Mu Bai were assigned to the back of the army to annihilate the zombies pursuing the army. When Mo Fan, Shorty, Yu Qingsu, and Scarface were clearing a path toward them, they suddenly felt the pressure being lifted from their shoulders, as the zombies had instead gone to surround the group of 4 instead. "They are back. Clear the path for them. Clear the path." Zhou Ming yelled at the other magicians when she discovered them catching up. One of the hunters opened his mouth and eyes wide when he saw the zombies being murdered en masse behind the army. It took him some time to collect his thoughts and said, "Those 4 are fierce as tigers. Their firepower is basically the same as a huge troop. Yeah, if I was left behind like that, I would be eaten by the undead without leaving any bones behind in just a matter of seconds. Enough with the bullshit, let's clear a path for them." "Not a problem, watch this, rolling wave. Bloodlined beast, go get them," said a summoner, casting contract summoning. A 5-meter-tall muscular beast soon dashed ahead. As soon as the creature appeared, the undead nearby simply turned into midgets. A single grab would crush a zombie to death, a single swing of its limbs would knock a zombie flying, and a single bite would swallow one. The bloodlined beast charged into the pile of zombies. The creature was extremely effective against them. After all, magicians preferred to stay in groups instead of being split up into smaller groups and finding themselves surrounded by the zombies. But a warrior-level creature like the bloodlined beast was a completely different story. Its flesh was sturdy and its limbs were powerful. It would probably take the zombies half a day to kill the creature, even if it were standing in one spot. "Mission accomplished, everyone, full speed ahead." Yao Nan's voice came from the sky. They'd been out here exactly 20 minutes. When Yao Nan saw Mo Fan's team approaching the army, he smiled too. It seemed like the people he had chosen did have some tricks up their sleeves. It was not easy to kill a corpse general and regroup with the army after only 20 minutes. Besides, they even had to fight their way out to regroup with the army a kilometer away. Chapter 592 Black Sandstorm, Corpse Official. Yao Nan was spiraling in the air above the army's perimeter. His gaze was fixed ahead, as he finally saw a group of phantom-like creatures in white among the dense army of undead. The creatures in white clothes had pale faces. Their half-illusionary figures were able to move past anything. On top of that, they were not walking along but hovering in the air. "I see you." Yao Nan grinned coldly. The army was advancing at full speed. The fire magicians had become the main firepower for the whole army. As fiery fists with wide coverage were thrown forward, there was burning blood and flesh scattering everywhere in the air. The fiery explosions left the scorched land with countless blast craters. The group of light magicians is in front of us, regrouping with other troops, called down a heavenly eagle battle mage who was spiraling in the air above the army. They could see troops of magicians in various directions among the black tide of zombies. The colorful glow when spells were cast served as the brightest flags to identify the friendlies, telling the other troops that they were moving toward their assigned destination. At the intermediate level, fire magicians still played an important role, since the fire element was not as difficult to awaken as the lightning element. On top of that, the fire element was the most effective in a wide-scale war like this due to its wide area of effect. The blazing red fire carpet laid out as the troops began to merge with one another was like a path towards hope for the humans. The undead's greatest weakness was light, followed by fire. As flames erupted and burned the land, the brain-dead servant-class zombies would simply walk into the flames and set themselves on fire. The magical flames could last for some time. A zombie on fire would eventually be turned into a scorched corpse, no longer posing any threat to the living. The bright flames were the only comfort the human army could find when they were right in the middle of the undead army. Everyone was searching for the light produced by the spells, the righteous flames that countless intermediate magicians had summoned, just so they would not lose their direction on the path toward death. The other troops have arrived at their positions. "Take a look at how slow your men are," said Zhang Li unpleasantly. The other troops consisted of well-trained battle mages. "They are a lot better compared to us that were put together at the very last second," replied Zhang Li unpleasantly. Yao Nan ignored Zhang Li's grumble. His eyes were suddenly fixed on a huge black mist rising from the undead army. The black mist was rolling toward the humans like a sandstorm. Its target was the magicians that had yet to arrive at their positions. Yao Nan discovered that the undead were actually clearing a path for the black sandstorm. "Something big is coming," screamed the heavenly eagle battle mage in the sky. As soon as the heavenly eagle battle mage gave the heads up, a flesh-colored tentacle sprang out from the black sandstorm into the air. It looked like a tongue, or an arm, or more like a lump of meat able to extend infinitely. The weird thing was incredibly fast. Before anyone could react, it stabbed right through the heavenly eagle that the battle mage was riding on. The heavenly eagle did not even have time to cry out in pain. Its body stiffened after suffering the deadly blow, and started twitching out of nowhere soon after. The fleshy tentacles suddenly pulsed like a huge straw. It was obvious that something was being transferred to the black sandstorm. At the same time, the heavenly eagle withered and dried out. Its feathers had also lost their color, as if there was simply a layer of skin covered in feathers that had rotted for many years on a corpse with only its skeleton left. The heavenly eagle's life force was completely sucked dry within a few seconds, now looking like it was air-dried after hanging for many years at a certain spot. The heavenly eagle battle mage fell from his mount with a pale face full of terror. It's a corpse official." The heavenly eagle battle mage was lucky to survive the attack, but his heavenly eagle was thoroughly dead. If the tentacle had punctured any of his body parts, he would have been turned into a dried corpse too. "A commander-level undead? Are you serious? We actually stumbled into a commander-level undead," a retired battle mage bleated out. They were not afraid of corpse generals, since as long as they all cast intermediate spells focusing on the same target, they would instantly eliminate the corpse general without leaving its bones behind. After all, their team consisted of over 40 talented intermediate magicians, and more than 10 of them possessed the fire element. However, a corpse official was a completely different story. Even if they had twice the number of intermediate magicians, a single commander-level undead would crush the seemingly unbeatable group of intermediate magicians within a few minutes. Once a group lost its formation, the undead army would surround the magicians. It would not be long until the magicians died under the filthy, disgusting fangs of the undead. "We're only a few steps away from regrouping with the other squads, but we happened to stumble into a corpse official here. What do we do now? We only have an advanced magician in our group. Even though we might stand a chance if we all focus on killing the corpse official, There are still several hundreds or even thousands of zombies flanking us from all directions. If all our firepower is used to handle the commander-level undead, the zombies will eventually drag us away," one of the magicians from the Magic Association blurted out in fear. Commander-level undead were a nightmare to them. Just a single one was enough to bring death upon the whole team. "What should we do now? Are we going to die here? I don't want to die. Send a signal, quick. Let's ask the other squads for help. They have lots of advanced magicians. Captain, send a signal to ask for help quickly. The black sandstorm is getting closer. I don't want my life force being sucked dry like that." The magicians were already panicking. The death of the heavenly eagle haunted every single one of them. They could not help but shiver when they imagined their blood, flesh, and organs being sucked dry by the tentacle like a straw. "Humph, useless pricks. Not only are you all slow when advancing, you're also cowardly compared to the regular army. If I knew how useless you all were since the beginning, I wouldn't have bothered firing the assembling signal." "Continue to press forward," mocked Yao Nan while flapping his wings. "Captain, that is easy for you to say. If you have the time to speak nonsense there, why don't you draw a few more star patterns instead? I'll deal with the corpse official in the black sandstorm. Just focus on advancing forward," Yao Nan said in a cold voice instead of his usual feminine manner. He glanced across the crowd. When he saw Mo Fan's group regrouping with the troop, he immediately said, "Vice Captain, come with me. Let's go kill that corpse official." "Fuck you, I just came back," yelled Mo Fan like an enraged lion, still panting heavily.